JMPD officers are continuing to raid the Zamimpilo informal settlement in Riverlea in response to anger over illegal miners and crime in that area. Nqobile Mandlala joins us now with the latest. Nqobile, what can you tell us about the situation there currently?
Well, what we've seen is the police raiding some of the structures that we understand that they were unoccupied. Some of them also had things that were used by the illegal miners. This is mainly things like torches. They found sand as well inside some of these structures. And these were the areas that they feel that had harbored some of the illegal miners, but also a problem issue in terms of the community, because they're saying that these people come in and live there, but not necessarily live there, but use that as a working station. The community here, of course, also in the informal settlement, some of the people that live here are also terrorized by what is taking place in the informal settlement. So I want to speak to some of the community members that are here. And of course, you bear in mind that a lot of them are really scared to speak to us because they worry. So ngicela ukubuza nje mama ubusasichazela nihlala kanjani la?
Bafonelana ke. Bafonela ba from Brandfish bare. Today it was shuba. Gobalanga about 5. Vela ka 5 o'clock. Re tshia di gate ga tsa hore ba motsile. O etsa the same.
Manje mangabe kushaya 5 nenze njani niyathaba senze njani?
Ya ra robala ona ntotlo berietse. Ra robala dicho. Le fruga re ka ratso go batho ba temara jikis. Ba pere dikopo le dijase ba re jikis ba re jikang. Mo Zamimpilo shame.
And manje mangabe nihleli la mama ninjani ukusaba for impilo zenu?
Kasaba. Abale no batle so re bona ishubile kwana di so ba le akamo. Ene ba ifo bona ga tseba ke bona ona le dithunye mara ba dilo ba dula New Canada kwa. Go sporong ba dula teng ga ba tseba go bone. So gona ga tseba na o tseba le bitso laka. O tlo mpona tlo ba tlo tla go nna bosiu. Ba tlo re wena o itse so maponiseng. Mara ba bone ke la o so ka mo no ba ha tla so bona ka ba matha ka mo ba bele dikuwa tsa bone ka mo site.
And manje mama njengoba sekukhona amaphoyisa kunjani nje okwamanje?
Yeah, re bon 2 days at least. Azamile go khona robala. Yeah. Batla motsheare fela. No ke batla. Bana ka thola mo dutse le ntho ha mo ba nka kankane mo bana ba nkile kankane. Dijo tsa ola o shunta dutse ba dinkile kankane ka ra thola bona ke bongo bothola. Once wa ba fetola ona le ntho ba tla yetsa.
Siyabonga mama. Wena mama umama uyachaza nje ukuthi anikwazi ngisho ukukhuluma back mabethatha izinto zenu njengamanje. Nihleli kanjani kahle kahle la?
Ay mabethi laba bathi into zethu la asikoni ukukhuluma sesabesaba. Bange basigqize bathi sesangikunuza. Bathi besasa bathini ubhuti bendawo. Phahluma zomisa abantu. Ngicela nje ukuthi fama police sila kamnandi kanjani. Siyabonga sisi safe. Sithi na fama police sisi safe kamnandi.
Alright.
Mo chelilanga. Ucheck uchelilanga. Because isikhathi bakhulisa babele hleba wo 6 awukhona ukupheka.
Manje mama yini ungakwazi ukupheka mase beqhumisa ibhamu?
Ungakhona nje ukupheka umuntu ukuphisa isibhamu. Ngoba isibhamu sangena senkene bakaphatha endlini. La upheka khona. Uzoshayeka bese yabona onto la.
So manje nilalaphi mangabe qhuma lezi ibhamu?
Sibala izindlini zethu. Sathi uyefana sabheka abantu. Sabheka. Sabheka intombi. Akukho. Wasifila izindlini zethu.
Siyabonga. Well, this is some of the women here. They're just saying that they also terrorized, the community here is also terrorized by these illegal miners. They're referring them to the people that wear some sort of a clothing or blanket. They're saying that some of them were in the area as the police were doing a raid. They're explaining that about 4 of them already had their guns and they had the blankets and they came to basically check or scout in terms of what is happening, and they've moved over, gone that side. They are referring to their home as a New Canada, which is another informal settlement not far from here. But most of them saying that they're very scared of them. So some of them have come in yesterday, took people's food, but they can't say anything because they fear for their lives. But they're saying there's a difference since there's been police in the area, mainly because now they can actually continue with their lives. But in the past, they've had to sleep at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically because they were scared, because these guys will start shooting at each other, and they're saying that even if you're cooking, you stop cooking and you just go to bed because you're scared that perhaps when they're shooting, that bullets would go through your home. Now, I want to bring in spokesperson for JMPD, and I mean, Xolani, we are hearing from these women really horrible stories about how their lives have been for quite some time. And I know that you've got a lot of people that are here on the ground from your force. How are you going to help this community? And before that, what have you found today?
Thank you to you, Nqobile. We have been conducting this walkabout and operation with MMC Dr. Chwaku. What we have found is that the community, and especially the CPF, has led us to these structures where it's believed that illegal miners either live in there or they use them as places of illegal mining. We have demolished some of these places, and what we found is boots, equipment used for illegal mining, and sand. And it's a clear indication that they were living in this area, and the community is living in fear. And there was a huge outcry by the community as what is the city doing about it, and that's why the MMC and the department has taken the stance on making sure that there is police visibility, and we do check these places where they give us information and we act upon that.
I mean, I can imagine how difficult it is for you as police to have to navigate this area. It was difficult for all of us to navigate because there's smaller passages. How does that affect the way that you conduct your work?
No, it affects it a lot because with the dynamics of this area, as you did say, that the passages are narrow, and I can imagine when it gets dark that you can't see anything at all. So I think as a police we need to come up with other interventions of making sure that we do infiltrate to this area and that the culprits are caught and brought to book. But as you know, that there has been a huge attention in the Zamimpilo and Riverlea area. So I should think most of these illegal miners are not around when we are here. But they are scouting, as the community did say. So we need to make sure that we also have proper intel, that they don't know that we are here besides the police visibility, and then that we do strike when we do identify these illegal miners.
And also in terms of visibility, I mean, like you're saying, that you still have to get more intel in terms of these guys. How possible is it to sustain the sense of police visibility that we've seen in a couple of days?
I think through collaboration with other law enforcement agencies, the JMPD works very closely with the South African Police Services. So through those collaborations, we make sure that we do sustain these operations, and we make sure that we do send a stern message to those culprits that the police are here, and whatever you're trying to do won't work, and we'll put an end to it.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is Xolani Fisher from JMPD. And of course, you can see more SAPS that side. Some of them have gone in. They are, of course, looking at what they have found as well. But you know, the community just saying that they're struggling with what is taking place here. And they're hoping for more solutions in terms of how they can continue, because some of the people that live here are not really partaking in the illegal mining as well. They are just human beings really that are trying to make ends meet. We spoke to some people earlier on, and even though they were scared to come on camera, they were saying that sometimes they even ask at work to do a later shift so that they're not here at night when all of this takes place. So very difficult indeed for both communities in the informal settlement as well as the community just across the road in Riverlea, because that community as well gets to see what happens here and it affects them as well.
That's our reporter Nqobile Mandlala, who's out in Riverlea, in Zamimpilo to be specific, where residents there are being terrorized by the so-called zamas.